Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Turin here with another Warhammer Total War live battlecast. In this particular game, we are going to play the Empire against the Vampire Counts. And we did get that lucky switch. You guys will notice I don't actually have Boris Todbringer, but for some reason when I switched to the Empire from another faction, it let me pick him, and I am not going to complain. So we're going to get the Jade Wizard here. Probably, you know what? I've actually been seeing it used to pretty great effect. We're going to get the Earthblood as well as the Awakening of the Wood, which does trigger the Earth Bloom, and it seems to be a little bit more cost effective. Although if I was using Karl Franz, I would probably want the Regrowth just to give him that big heal and, you know, mitigate that damage. But with Boris, considering he does have healing through the Midland Runefang, we should be fine. On top of that, we're going to get two Empire Captains. You know, one of the things the Vampire Counts, they've gotten a little bit comfortable in the air, kind of in just bringing their Lord and just spamming zombies. But I'm going to, you know, go with the old school kind of Empire Flying Goon Squad and see if I can snipe him out before the zombie spam gets too out of control. So we're going to get some halberds for our front line. Pretty good choice. Anti-large, armor piercing. They can deal with most threats that the Vampire Counts can throw your way. Then we're also going to get the Flagellants and the Tattersouls over here, just to help deal with zombies and kind of those lightly armored units. And they do trade okay with Cryptors, actually. Lastly, let's see. We probably want to get some other fun units here. We could actually get Sterling's Revenge. They're pretty good in melee. They have very, very high stats, but they also do have a missile presence. So, you know, worst case scenario, if they're fighting in melee, they do have, let's see, their weapon strength. It's actually only 28. It's a tough choice. I think we might actually just go with Sigmar Sons because just having so many unbreakable units is very, very helpful here. On top of that, let's get some Demogryph Knights, and we could get like a group of Spears or something. Although if I do cut the Halberdiers here, we could actually get the Sterling's Revenge, and, you know, let's give it a try. Let's see how it goes. So we do have a very, very strong Air Force. We also have healing, so I think we should be fine. Let's go ahead and pump some chevrons in here. And this map, it's a pretty shrouded map. There's a lot of terrain and forests and things like that, so I didn't feel like playing a big missile game. Now, if it was like an open field like the Crossroads or something like that, I might even get a cannon, deploy it very far back, and just kind of create some separation between my army and the main engagement, and just, you know, maybe do some work with it. But again, I'm putting a lot of marbles in my kind of Flying Goon Squad to really be able to shut down his big threats. Mortis engines are really hard to deal with. Actually, the Claw of Nagash is hard too, because like you'll dive it, it'll run through the ranks, it'll slow you, your units get caught by Cryptors and other things like that. So it'll be interesting to see what my opponent picks. Definitely some funny business going on, I'm sure. Vampire Counts are very tough. Definitely a high tier faction right now. The zombie spam is just such a strong mechanic. It can shut down so many different builds. So we're going to get our halberds. We're going to keep a pretty tight army, like high and tight here, simply because we want to, let's go ahead and do this. And the Sterling's Revenge, we can probably keep them. We don't want to put them in the front. They do have armor-piercing missiles, but we'll just put them right here for now. And we'll put Sigmar Sons kind of in the back right here. Actually, we can just put them next to them. That's fine. And then the Demogryph Knights can kind of protect on this side over here. So the Demis can go in group 3, and our Flying Goon Squad, of course, in group 2. So should be fine. Demogryph Knights, we can just park over here and make sure to lock that group in like so. And maybe we want to deploy like up here and just kind of, yeah, use this terrain right now so he can't like see us right away. Because we have the kind of Air Force advantage. I mean, I would be surprised if he would have to go really deep, like get multiple Terrorgeists and, you know, a lot of units to deal with this. So we're going to hide a little bit and just, you know, advance over like in this direction, set up like right here maybe, force the battle out in this area, and then, you know, use our Air Force to kind of feel things out. And if he does have a flying unit, we can probably kill it before the fighting starts. And, you know, it might be a little cheesy on paper, but, you know, the Vampire Counts are definitely very scary, and you got to use all the tools at your disposal to beat them. Definitely not messing around. But Boris does have this, which is quite nice. The Crush the Weak. So it cannot target if leadership is higher than 50%, so that's pretty neat. Very, very cool ability there. So we're ready to go. We got the Flagellants to deal with fodder. I've never actually used Sterling's Revenge really in this matchup, so I'm eager to see how they do. But if I'm able to like kill his zombie spam and then use these guys against the Mortis engine, just having that extra range could be useful. Pretty eager to see. One of my favorite units thematically. They're just so cool looking. So he did make the mistake of bringing a Flying Lord. So, and it's really funny. Most Vampire players will actually do that. They'll bring a Flying Lord and they'll just assume that they can kind of, you know, run court and do as they please. But, you know, times are changing, guys. The Empire Goon Squad's back. We're going to get in there and definitely lay the smackdown on poor Manfred here. So let's take an angle of pursuit. Yeah, we could pull back a little bit and like force the engagement over here, which would probably be fine. Let's go ahead and do that. Just kind of have some fun over here first. So Manfred's just going to literally have to play the Benny Hill theme and just run around for like several minutes here. So let's go ahead here. And he's pretty fast, though, on that Hellsteed. So, but I believe, yeah, Boris isn't going to be able to catch him, but, you know, some of these other units will. So we'll put Boris in group 4 and just kind of keep him, you know, doing his thing over here. And let's try and force the engagement right now. Yeah, we're going to need Boris, I think, to help out with these Blood Knights and other things like this. And also the Jade Wizard can come over here as well. So the Jade Wizard we'll put in group 4 also. Having the two Empire Captains chase him should be enough. And, you know, again, it's going to severely inhibit his ability to like micro his main army probably, because he's going to be so stressed out just having to micro Manfred the whole time. So you can see they're catching him. Their speed is 131 right now, so it looks like they're going to get their first engagement here. And let's also, you know, get these get Boris over here and try and head them off. And it looks like he is coming with some units here, so we're going to go ahead like so. And it looks like he might charge here. We're not sure. We do have halberds, but yeah, Manfred's getting caught out. You can see, you know, some good pressure from those Empire captains. Man, I love that. That's so funny. And the Demogryph Knights are going to come and get an engagement, and hopefully we can do pretty well for ourselves here. But the halberds are setting up their front line. Let's go ahead and see if we can like intercept with those guys here, get these guys going, and we'll also get Boris on here, although I don't want to land Boris on the ground. It's a little bit of a risky gambit here. So the halberds should be able to take that charge pretty effectively. We're definitely going to use the Awakening of the Wood relatively soon. We can probably use it right now on these guys and see if we can get a little bit of some freebies going on. So we're going to get Boris on Manfred. We got everyone engaging for the most part. These guys, we'll actually see if we can have them shooting up here. And Sigmar Sons, we can engage with these Cryptors. Also bring these guys over here. And you can see the zombie spam. So we'll just get the Sigmar Sons, run these guys over here. And let's get ready to use a big old fat heal, because we're taking a lot of damage over here now. But Boris is applying some good pressure. I mean, we should be able to, you know, put Manfred down relatively speaking. So over here, the Sterling's Revenge are kind of running, definitely doing their best. And we'll see if they can get some shots on Manfred right now, as they are a little bit detached. He does have a lot more troops than me, but I feel like I have a pretty strong kind of you know, build going on here. But you know, that Invocation of Heck is definitely doing some serious work, and Boris is chasing, having some problems. But let's go ahead and get Boris over here and just have him help out. So we're gonna have him in the back line help out some of these Cryptors, and the Sterling's Revenge are trying to like turn and catch him, but let's make sure to use those speed accelerants here and use all of those different abilities we have. So we're gonna use the Awakening in the Wood back here just to trigger that Life Bloom. Sterling's Revenge, we want to kind of posture them up, get them a little far away here. Let's go ahead and use this Jade Wizard to try and help out as well. So a lot of craziness going on here, definitely tough, but you know, we're doing pretty well against these Cryptors, but a lot of these guys are coming in. We do have a bit of a Death Star here, and our Demogryph Knights were beaten down, so we're having some problems catching Manfred right now. It's pretty quick, but you know, again, this is a huge stressor on my opponent. He's having to like just chase this and deal with this. Let's go ahead and have this Jade Wizard land and just help out. So we're going to use another big heal right in the center here. Should hit like almost all of our units, to be honest. And Boris in here is doing a good job. I mean, these Cryptors are crumbling. A lot of his troops are having some trouble, and we have a ton of sustainability over here. So you know, if we're able to get in there and just continue this war of attrition, we do have these demis coming back now, which is going to be really nice. So we're going to go ahead and get a rear charge, and man, he just has so many units. And the Sterling's Revenger are fighting, but they're just having a hard time, you know, as I expected they would, unfortunately. So we do have another ability here. Let's go ahead and use the Awakening of the Wood right there on top of all those guys. We're going to get Boris landing over here and see if we can kind of start working on some of those Blood Knights. Yeah, that's probably not a bad choice. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We do have this Jade Wizard. Let's see if he can intercept that guy right there. So yeah, man, that's so funny. He's just doing straight up laps. So we do have the Foe Seeker right now, so we're going to use that to hopefully help them catch. We do have some of these guys coming in the flank here, and let's go ahead and, yeah, man, I don't like them fighting Crypticals, so let's get them up and around, see if we can do some work. And we do have a big infantry blob, though, and he is losing a lot of units, so we want to just find something relatively squishy and get them on. Yeah, let's get them on these Cryptors. That's going to be nice. So Manfred definitely very stressed out right now, having to kind of scurry around and do his thing, but a lot of low leadership units. And guys, we still have a lot left on the high ground, and we will have enough for a heal, relatively speaking, soon. The Awakening of the Wood, we might actually use that just to get that healing ability going off, but yeah, Sterling's Revenge are back, which is nice. So they're actually detached from the main army, so we can get them shooting in right now. And I don't believe they do magic damage, but still, oh, it looks like they actually just broke for some reason or other. Not sure why. So Boris in here, the one nice thing is I do have my Lord fighting on the ground, whereas like his Lord is kind of, you know, busy with other things. And the Demogryph Knights are in here. They're doing a good job on some of these Cryptors back here, and we should have an Awakening of the Wood relatively soon. So it's so funny. It's just straight up circus music playing right now. So Sigmar Sons, we want to make sure they're fighting. And again, I have a ton of unbreakable units, which is really nice. So let's bring these guys back here and have them start shooting. And let's go ahead and use this. Let's find a nice blob where he's got some ethereal units here. So we're going to use it right back here. Pretty much all my units are, you know, combat ready. They're doing their thing. He does have a lot of crumbling stuff. I probably should have used that, honestly, on some of his you know, kind of Blood Knights or something there. Man, Manfred is just a boss right now. Man, he is hustling. I could be like more proactive at like taking angles, but honestly, I think it's a little more effective use of my time to kind of micro some of my other units in battle. So Boris in here just doing some serious work. These Cryptors aren't in the best shape. I do have Sterling's. Are those Sterling's Revenge? I saw some gun icons in there, but it looks like we're back in range now. We should be able to shoot. Sterling's Revenge don't do magic damage, if I'm not mistaken. But still, just applying some pressure, keeping them on the wings, you know, away from the zombie spam is going to be pretty useful here. So we're going to pull the Demogryph Knights out. Boris is doing a good job healing, you know, causing a lot of issues. A lot of my opponent's troops are crumbling, and the Empire Death Star is actually in pretty good shape here. That Life Bloom, and we do have an Arcane Conduit. So by the course of this battle, hopefully we can get like one more summon off. Let's see if we can get those guys over here. But it looks like Manfred's coming in for, you know, raised dead ability. A lot of my opponent's troops crumbling though, guys. These Blood Knights aren't in the best shape, and also look at those. The Sterling's Revenge getting some good volleys, and man, my troops are surprisingly resilient despite all this. But I do have a lot of unbreakable troops, so I'm not terribly concerned about my battle line kind of, you know, just dissipating. So let's get a rear charge right now and see if we can like crumble the leadership of a lot of these units here. So I'm tempted to almost pull one of these guys off and just get him in the main battle. You know, I think that might be a better choice, because Manfred, again, is just going to keep running circles, and, you know, I probably should have done that earlier, but, oh, he actually stopped, and he's taking some fire now, so if we can get his leadership a bit lower, man, that would be really nice. So we're going to get this guy in here, have him jump on some of these Blood Knights. Very kind of death blob type battle, which is totally fine. Let's go ahead and, yeah, Manfred's still scurrying around, but we can have the Sterling's Revenge keep applying pressure. Let's go ahead and use the Co-Seeker here. We'll use this here for the Vigor and just keep doing our thing. A lot of these units are starting to crumble. Let's make sure they're actually all fighting and pathing down. So we're going to path these guys here. We're going to do our thing here, and it looks like the Death Star worked out, guys. So we were able to do it. I don't know if applying pressure on Manfred was essential to this particular victory here, but still, you know, it seemed to work out okay. Boris did his thing. The Awakening of the Wood is pretty useful. We'll go ahead and use that again right here, and let's see how it does damage-wise. So we're looking at all these units here. Okay, that's not terrible. It does a little bit of damage and definitely is good, triggering that Life Bloom. We're getting some fire on Manfred over here from Sterling's Revenge. So, man, it all actually worked out okay, guys. I'm definitely pleased with that particular performance. The Sterling's Revenge weren't, I mean, great, obviously. They didn't do much, actually, at all. But at the end, they were able to pull in and do some work here. So, man, just look at the carnage here. Like, just looking at that battle on paper, I felt like things were just so bad. The Blood Knights were, like, running, but having, like, all of those unbreakable units and other things like that is definitely pretty good. I mean, the Crypt Ghouls, that's an interesting choice, but Crypt Ghouls hit hard, and against light armored infantry like what I brought, you know, they don't seem like a bad choice. And bringing the ethereal units also seems decent, and, you know, pretty interesting army for my opponent, but he was very good at microing Manfred. I mean, he must have been spam clicking and probably developed some wrist tendonitis from that game, but still, you know, good stuff. I mean, the Flagellants, having this core of unbreakable units against the vampires, who obviously cause fear and terror and all that kind of stuff, is very nice, and they definitely perform quite well. The Demogryph Knights did okay against the Blood Knights in the beginning, but again, you know, that Invocation of Nehek was quite strong for my opponent. So Sterling's Revenge actually did okay, applying some pressure to Manfred, definitely an additional stressor, which is always good. So regardless, Boris was huge also. I think if that was Karl Franz, like, I might have been in trouble. You know, he probably would have gotten a lot lower, but well played to my opponent, RD Mushak. I look forward to seeing you again on Ladder, and I hope you guys enjoyed that Empire game. Have an excellent night, and take care.